The year is 1945. The world is engulfed in the flames of World War II. The Allied forces are locked in a brutal struggle against the Axis powers. From the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of the Pacific, battles rage on land, sea, and air. The conflict has claimed millions of lives and reshaped the global landscape, leaving an indelible mark on human history. Amidst this maelstrom of violence and sacrifice, a young photographer named Joe Rosenthal would capture an image that would come to define the war in the Pacific and inspire generations to come. Joe Rosenthal, a far cry from the battlefields he would later photograph, was born in Washington, D.C. in 1911. Growing up in a humble Jewish family, he developed a passion for photography at a young age, teaching himself the craft with a borrowed camera. His early life was marked by the hardships of the Great Depression, a period of economic turmoil that forced him to drop out of high school to help support his family. However, Rosenthal's passion for photography never wavered, and he eventually found work as a news photographer in San Francisco. Assigned to the Pacific Fleet, Rosenthal boarded a ship bound for the front lines, his camera equipment his constant companion. The journey was long and arduous, filled with the anticipation and uncertainty that came with wartime deployment. Along the way, he befriended fellow journalists and soldiers, sharing stories and anxieties as they sailed closer to the heart of the conflict. Each passing day brought them closer to the unknown, to the sights and sounds of battle that they had only read about in dispatches and seen in newsreels. In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, Iwo Jima appeared as an insignificant speck, a volcanic island barely 5 miles long and 2 miles wide. Yet this seemingly unremarkable piece of land held immense strategic importance for both the Japanese and the Americans in the waning days of World War II. For the Japanese, Iwo Jima was a crucial link in their inner defensive perimeter, a formidable obstacle standing between the advancing American forces and the Japanese mainland. Iwo Jima's location, a mere 750 miles south of Tokyo, made it an ideal base for Japanese fighter planes to intercept American bombers en route to strategic targets in Japan. From this volcanic outpost, Japanese fighters could harass American bombing raids, providing early warnings to the mainland and disrupting the effectiveness of the American air campaign. Section 2, Island Fortress. The Japanese defense of Iwo Jima. Anticipating an American invasion, General Tadamichi Kuribayashi, the commander of the Japanese forces on Iwo Jima, had transformed the island into a veritable fortress. Learning from the mistakes made in previous battles, Kuribayashi abandoned the traditional Japanese defense strategy of beach assaults, recognizing the futility of such tactics against the overwhelming firepower of the American forces. Instead, he adopted a strategy of attrition, aiming to inflict maximum casualties on the invading Americans and delay their advance for as long as possible. Under Kuribayashi's command, thousands of Japanese soldiers dug in, constructing an intricate network of tunnels and bunkers throughout the island's volcanic landscape. Section 3. Operation Detachment. The American plan to capture Iwo Jima. The task of capturing Iwo Jima fell upon the shoulders of the United States Marine Corps, battle-hardened veterans of some of the fiercest fighting in the Pacific. The invasion, codenamed Operation Detachment, would be one of the largest amphibious assaults of the Pacific War, involving over 70,000 Marines and thousands of ships and aircraft. The operation was placed under the command of Lieutenant General Holland Smith, a seasoned Marine Corps officer known for his tenacity and determination. The American plan for capturing Iwo Jima relied on a combination of overwhelming firepower and a carefully orchestrated amphibious assault. Prior to the landing, American warships and aircraft would subject the island to a massive bombardment, aiming to soften up the Japanese defenses and neutralize as much of the enemy's firepower as possible. Section 4. D-Day at Iwo Jima. Landing on the volcanic shores. February 19, 1945 dawned bright and clear over Iwo Jima. The air was thick with anticipation as the American invasion fleet approached the island. At 0640, the pre-invasion bombardment reached its crescendo. American battleships, cruisers, and destroyers unleashed a thunderous barrage, their heavy guns shaking the very foundations of the island. Overhead, waves of American aircraft darkened the sky, dropping bombs and strafing Japanese positions with rockets and machine gun fire. The bombardment, while intense, proved less effective than the Americans had hoped. General Kuribayashi's strategy of defense in depth, utilizing tunnels and underground bunkers, had paid off. Many of the Japanese defenders were able to survive the initial onslaught, waiting patiently in their fortified positions for the American assault. As the bombardment lifted, the first wave of American landing craft, carrying Marines from the 4th and 5th Divisions, churned towards the beaches. At 0900, the first Marines splashed ashore on the southeastern beaches of Iwo Jima. Embedded with Heroes Rosenthal's first days on Iwo Jima, the deafening roar of naval bombardment still echoed in the air as Joe Rosenthal, laden with his heavy camera equipment, stepped onto the volcanic sands of Iwo Jima. The beach, a chaotic scene of destruction and frantic activity, was unlike anything he had ever witnessed. Landing craft, some ablaze, littered the shoreline, while Marines, faces grimed with ash and determination, rushed past him, heading towards the front lines. The air hung heavy with the acrid smell of gunpowder, the metallic tang of blood, and the ever-present scent of death. Despite the inherent danger, Rosenthal felt a surge of adrenaline, a mixture of fear and professional excitement. He knew that he was witnessing history unfold before his very eyes, and his photographer's instinct kicked in, urging him to capture the raw emotion and intensity of the battle. A sea of volcanic ash, the grueling advance inland. As the Marines pushed inland, the battle for Iwo Jima transformed into a brutal struggle for every yard of ground. The volcanic terrain, a nightmarish landscape of craters, ravines, and shifting black sand, proved to be a formidable enemy in itself. The human cost of war. Rosenthal's lens captures the brutality. The battle for Iwo Jima raged on, a relentless back-and-forth struggle that tested the limits of human endurance. Rosenthal, witnessing the carnage firsthand, found himself deeply affected by the brutality he was documenting. Section 4. A Glimmer of Hope. The first flag raising on Mount Suribachi. On the 5th day of the battle, a glimmer of hope emerged from the smoke and ash of Iwo Jima. After days of fierce fighting, a patrol of Marines from the 2nd Battalion, 28th Marines reached the summit of Mount Suribachi, the island's highest point and a key Japanese observation post. The Marines, exhausted but elated, raised a small American flag, a symbol of their hard-won victory and a beacon of hope for their comrades still locked in battle below. Section 5. The Unfolding Narrative. Rosenthal prepares for the unexpected. Word reached Rosenthal that a larger flag was being taken to the summit of Mount Suribachi. Intrigued, he decided to ascend the volcano himself, hoping to capture the scene. The climb was arduous, the slopes littered with debris and the air thick with the stench of cordite and death. Exhausted but determined, Rosenthal finally reached the summit, his camera equipment feeling heavier than ever. Section 1. Atop Mount Suribachi, the second flag raising. The wind, whipping across the summit of Mount Suribachi, tore at the larger American flag, its edges snapping like rifle shots in the tense silence. 6 Marines, their faces grimed with ash and fatigue, struggled to raise the heavy wooden pole, their movements a study in determination against the backdrop of the volcanic landscape. Rosenthal, his camera trained on the unfolding scene, felt a surge of adrenaline, his photographer's instincts taking over as he prepared to capture the moment for eternity. Through the lens, Rosenthal captures history in the making. The click of Rosenthal's speed graphic camera, a sharp mechanical sound, seemed to momentarily punctuate the cheers of the Marines and the roar of the wind. In that fraction of a second, as the shutter opened and closed, history was etched onto a single frame of film, a testament to the power of photography to freeze time and capture the essence of human experience. Rosenthal, unaware that he had just captured one of the most enduring images of the 20th century, continued to photograph the scene, documenting the aftermath of the flag raising, the elation and relief on the faces of the Marines. The men of the moment, the identities of the flag raisers. In the immediate aftermath of the flag raising, the identities of the 6 Marines who had raised the flag on Mount Suribachi remained unknown, their faces obscured by the shadows and the angle of Rosenthal's photograph. However, the image quickly gained notoriety, becoming a symbol of victory and sacrifice, and the search for the identities of these anonymous heroes began in earnest. Initially, there was some confusion surrounding the identities of the flag raisers. 3 of the 6 men in the photograph, Harlan Block, Franklin Sousley, and Michael Strank, had been killed in action in the days following the flag raising. The surviving 3, Rene Gagnon, Ira Hayes, and John Bradley, were identified, and their stories became intertwined with the iconic image. A single frame, 1,000 stories, dissecting the iconic image. Rosenthal's photograph of the flag raising on Mount Suribachi transcended the realm of photojournalism, becoming an instant cultural icon, a symbol of American resilience and the indomitable spirit of those who fought for freedom during World War II. The image, captured in black and white, possesses a timeless quality, its composition, lighting, and symbolism combining to create a powerful and enduring work of art. The photograph's composition is striking in its simplicity and power. The 6 Marines, their bodies silhouetted against the smoke-filled sky, form a dynamic diagonal line, leading the viewer's eye upward towards the American flag, the focal point of the image. The flag, caught in a gust of wind, billows out majestically, its stars and stripes a beacon of hope amidst the desolation of the volcanic landscape. Section 5. The Power of an Image. The photo that gripped a nation. Within days of being taken, Rosenthal's photograph of the flag raising on Mount Suribachi was transmitted via radio photo to the United States, where it was immediately met with widespread acclaim. Newspapers across the country splashed the image on their front pages, hailing it as a symbol of American victory and a testament to the courage of the fighting man. The photograph quickly transcended the realm of news, becoming a cultural phenomenon, a source of inspiration and pride for a nation weary of war. Section 6. A legacy forged in combat. Rosenthal's departure from Iwo Jima. Joe Rosenthal, with his camera, documented the horrors and heroism of Iwo Jima. He witnessed the brutality of war and its toll on the living and the dead. He saw acts of courage and the bonds of brotherhood. After weeks, Rosenthal was rotated back, his assignment complete. He left with a heavy heart and a trove of images. A nation transfixed. The photo that ignited the home front. Rosenthal's photograph provided solace and inspiration during a protracted and bloody war. The image resonated deeply, galvanizing a collective sense of patriotism. Within days, the flag-raising photo became a national sensation. It struck a chord with a nation hungry for good news. Section 2. From battlefield to front page, the dissemination of an icon. The rapid dissemination of Rosenthal's photograph, from the battle-scarred summit of Mount Suribachi to the front pages of newspapers across the United States, was a testament to the technological advancements and the logistical prowess of wartime communication networks. In an era predating the immediacy of television and the internet, the photograph's journey from the front lines to the home front was a remarkable feat of human ingenuity and collaboration. Section 3. More than a photo. The flag raising as wartime propaganda. The power of Rosenthal's photograph lay not only in its aesthetic qualities but also in its ability to stir powerful emotions and inspire a sense of national unity. Recognizing its propaganda potential, the United States government quickly seized upon the image, incorporating it into a multifaceted campaign aimed at galvanizing public support for the war effort and bolstering morale on the home front. Section 4: A symbol exploited commercialization and controversy. As the flag-raising photo's fame grew, so too did its commercial appeal. Businesses and entrepreneurs, eager to capitalize on the image's popularity, sought to profit from its reproduction on a wide range of merchandise. While some viewed this commercialization as a fitting tribute to the heroism depicted in the photograph, others criticized it as a crass exploitation of a sacred symbol of sacrifice. Section 5: Enduring Legacy, the timeless significance of the image. Despite the controversies surrounding its commercialization and use as a propaganda tool, Rosenthal's photograph of the flag raising on Mount Suribachi has endured as one of the most iconic and enduring images of the 20th century. Its power lies in its ability to transcend time and place, speaking to universal themes of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring human spirit in the face of adversity. Section 1: A Quiet Return, Rosenthal After the War. The world hailed Joe Rosenthal as a hero, his photograph of the flag raising on Mount Suribachi etched into the collective memory of a nation. Yet for the man behind the lens, the transition back to civilian life was marked by a quiet humility, a sense of displacement after witnessing the horrors and heroism of war. The accolades and the attention, while appreciated, could not erase the indelible marks that Iwo Jima had left on his soul. Section 2: The Pulitzer Prize, a recognition met with humility. In 1945, Joe Rosenthal received the Pulitzer Prize for Photography, the most prestigious award in American journalism, for his image of the flag raising on Mount Suribachi. The award recognized not only the technical brilliance of the photograph, but also its profound emotional impact and its enduring status as a symbol of American resilience and sacrifice. Section 3: Beyond Iwo Jima, a career of capturing life. The shadow of Iwo Jima loomed large over Joe Rosenthal's life, but it did not define his career. He continued to work as a photographer for the San Francisco Chronicle for nearly 4 decades, capturing the essence of his city and its people with the same keen eye and compassionate heart he had brought to the battlefields of World War II. Joe Rosenthal, the unassuming photographer who captured one of the most enduring images of the 20th century, passed away in 2006 at the age of 94. His legacy, however, extends far beyond the single frame that brought him fame. He left behind a rich and varied body of work that stands as a testament to his skill as a photographer, his compassion as a human being, and his unwavering belief in the power of images to inform, inspire, and connect us. Joe Rosenthal's photograph of the flag raising on Mount Suribachi stands as a poignant reminder of the enduring power of war photography to capture not just moments in time, but the very soul of a nation embroiled in conflict. His image, frozen in history, serves as a powerful testament to the role photojournalists play in documenting the realities of war, both its brutal truths and its fleeting moments of humanity. The volcanic island of Iwo Jima, once a desolate battleground, now stands as a solemn testament to the sacrifices made in the name of freedom. The black sands, forever scarred by the echoes of battle, are now hallowed ground, a place of pilgrimage for veterans and their families, seeking to honor the memory of those who fought and fell on its shores. Joe Rosenthal, the man behind the camera, never sought the limelight. He viewed himself simply as a witness, a conduit through which history flowed, his photographs capturing the essence of a tumultuous era. Yet, His legacy extends far beyond the accolades and the fame, reminding us that behind every iconic image lies a storyteller, and behind every storyteller, a story yearning to be told.